Happy learning, class! How are you doing today? I hope you are all good. Our lesson for today is about percentiles for group data. And at the end of the learning episode, we are expected to calculate a specified percentiles of a set of data. But before we proceed to the discussion, let us first answer the pretest. Read each statement carefully and choose the letter of the correct answer. Click pause for you to have an ample time to finish the test. Please check your answer. Let's have a recap to check your mastery about the previous lesson, deciles for group data. The frequency distribution below gives the scores of 40 students of grade 10 ABCDE in 50-item test in mathematics. Find the following decile and interpret each result. Click pause for you to have an ample time to finish the test. Please check your answer. Moving on with our main lesson, in this learning episode, you will be able to illustrate, calculate, and interpret the percentile of the given set of data. Enough examples and exercises are given to facilitate learning. Percentiles are values that divide a set of data into 100 equal groups. There are 99 percentiles which are denoted by P sub 1, P sub 2, up to P sub 99. In finding percentiles of a group data is similar to that of finding quartiles and deciles of a group data. The kth percentile, denoted by P sub k, is computed using the formula where LB is the lower boundary of the P sub k class, N is the total frequency, CF sub B is the cumulative frequency before the P sub k class, F sub P sub k is the frequency of the P sub k class, I is the size of the class interval, and k is the nth percentile where n is equal to 1, 2, 3, up to 99. Here are the steps in finding the percentiles for group data. Step 1. To be able to solve the problem, we must complete the table by adding a column for less than cumulative frequency. Step 2. Compute for the position to determine P sub k class. Step 3. Set the given facts for the identified percentile class. And step 4. Set the formula, substitute the variables using the given facts, and then evaluate. Let's have this example. Sam collects plastic bottles every month from the 50 houses in his barangay. The data for the collection last month is summarized in the table below. Calculate the 15th percentile, 50th percentile, and 93rd percentile. For step 1, to be able to solve the problem, we must complete the table by adding a column for less than cumulative frequency. In getting the cumulative frequency, all you need to do is to add the frequencies from the nearest class interval to the greatest class interval. So just copy 4, and then 4 added by 9 is 13. 13 plus 10 is 23. And so on until we verify that there are 50 number of houses in the barangay. After completing the table, let's have step 2. Compute for the position to determine P sub 15 class. Using this formula, we will able to find where the percentile 15 is located. So let's substitute the values of k and n, and that will become 15 times 50 divided by 100. What do you think is the answer? Correct! It's 7.5. This means we need to find the class interval where the 7.5th way is contained. Observe these positions since we already know that the 15th percentile is in the 7.5th position. Note that the 5th to 13th ways belong to the class interval 6 to 8. So the 7.5 way is also within the class interval. Let us proceed to step 3. Set the given facts for the identified percentile class. Let's determine the lower boundary or LB wherein the lowest number in the interval will be subtracted to 0.5. So 6 minus 0.5 is equal to 5.5. Next, n, or the total number of frequency, which is 50. Now, what is the cumulative frequency before the P sub 15 class? Correct, it's 4. How about the frequency of P sub 15 class? Yes, it's 9. The size of the class interval is 3. And our Kn over 100, or the position of P sub 15, is 7.5. For the last step, set the formula for P sub 15, substitute and evaluate. Write the final answer and put the analysis. And that gives us the answer of correct, 6.67. Therefore, 15% of the houses gave less than or equal to 6.67 kg of plastic bottle to some last month, and 85% gave 6.67 kg or more. Let's have another example. Using the same table, find the 50th percentile and 93rd percentile. We are already done with the step 1, which is adding a column for less than cumulative frequency, and we already added the frequency from the nearest class interval to the greatest class interval. Let's have step 2. Compute for the position to determine P sub 50 class using this formula. So let's substitute the values of K and N. That will become 50 times 50 divided by 100. 50 times 50 is equal to 2,500. 2,500 divided by 100 is 25. This means that we need to find the class interval where the 25th way is contained. Note that the 24th to 35th way belong to the class interval 12 to 14. So the 25th way is also within the class interval. The P sub 50 class is class interval 12 to 14. Let us proceed to step 3. Set the given facts for the identified percentile class. For the lower boundary, 12 minus 0.5 is equal to 11.5. N is 50. Cumulative frequency before the P sub 50 class is 23. The frequency of P sub 50 is 12. The size of class interval is 3. And the position of P sub 50 is 25. For the last step, set the formula for P sub 50, substitute and evaluate. Write the final answer and put the analysis. So we have 11.5 plus the difference of 25 and 23 divided by 12 times 3. And that gives us the answer of 12. Therefore, 50% of the houses gave 12 kilograms or less of plastic bottle to some, and 50% of the houses gave 12 kilograms or more. Let us try to answer this last example. Find the 93rd percentile. We are already done with the step 1, which is adding a column for less than cumulative frequency, and we already added the frequencies from the nearest class interval to the greatest class interval. Let's have step 2. Compute for the position to determine 93rd percentile class using this formula. Substitute the values of k and n. That will become 93 times 50 divided by 100. 93 times 50 is equal to 4,650. 4,650 divided by 100 is 46.5. This means that we need to find the class interval where the 46.5th way is contained. Note that the 44th to 50th way belong to the class interval 18 to 20. So the 46.5th way is also within the class interval. The P sub 93 class is class interval 18 to 20. Let us proceed to step 3. Set the given facts for the identified percentile class. The lower boundary is equal to 17.5. The total number of houses is 50. The cumulative frequency before the 93rd percentile class is equal to 43. The frequency of 93rd percentile class is 7. The size of class interval is 3. And the position of P sub 93 is 46.5. For the last step, set the formula for P sub 93, substitute and evaluate. Write the final answer and put the analysis. So we have 17.5 plus the difference of 46.5 and 43 divided by 7 times 3. And that gives us the answer of 19. Therefore, 93% of the houses gave 19 kilograms or less of plastic bottle to some, and 7% of the houses gave 19 kilograms or more. Now, let us answer the following activities. For Activity 1, practice. The frequency distribution presented below gives the ages who recovered from coronavirus dated from February 2020 to March 2020. Complete the table and answer the following questions. Write your answer on your notebook. For activity number 2, keep practicing. Directions. Using the frequency distribution presented on activity 1, calculate and write the given facts for the identified percentile class on your notebook. For our last activity, test yourself. The table is the distribution of the number of mistakes 42 students made in solving 20 arithmetic sequence. Complete the table and calculate the P sub 8, P sub 45, P sub 66, and P sub 89 of the number of mistakes given the frequency. To wrap it up, percentiles are values that divide a set of data into 100 equal groups. There are 99 percentiles which are denoted by P sub 1, P sub 2, up to P sub 99. The kth percentile denoted by P sub k is computed using the formula.
For our reflection, it is ironic. The only inevitable thing in this life is change. With the changing times comes the new normal, a historic phenomenon that challenges all norms, including the educational system. Since face-to-face instruction is not possible, students and teachers have to resort to meeting in a virtual room, which some describe as more of a curse than a blessing. It may also affect the individual performances. There are also concerns that the gap between high and low achieving students will become larger. As a student, how can you learn best even with the threat of the pandemic?
Let us answer the post-test. The frequency distribution presented below shows the mathematics test score of 50 students. Read each statement carefully and choose the letter of the correct answer. Click pause for you to have an ample time to finish the test. Here's the key to correction. With that, I hope you enjoy our lesson. Thank you for watching. Goodbye!